just tuning into the Rule and Ryan Show at 104.1 KRVE. You are hearing the voices of Ryan Marsh. He's the father of little Layla Grace, who has been really in everyone's hearts around the world, who is fighting stage 4 neuroblastoma, and also Dr. Heidi Russell, who is the pediatric oncologist at Texas Children's Hospital, and also taking care of Layla. So little girl Layla Grace has touched hearts all over the world. Ryan Seacrest had her mom on. OK Magazine did a story about her. Every time I turn on Facebook or Twitter, I see her name. So we contacted her dad, Ryan Marsh, and they live right here in the Houston area, there in Cypress, and we have him here in the studio.
Can you just tell us a little bit about, first of all, a little bit about your daughter and how you found out that, that she had this illness to begin with?
Well, so at her 18-month checkup, she was doing just fine. I mean, she was a normal kid. Mm-hmm. And then a few weeks after that, she stopped eating and ran a fever. And that's typical, teething kind of behavior. Mm-hmm. So we weren't that worried, but she kept on not eating and not eating. We got concerned and took her to the doctor, and the doctor couldn't figure out what was wrong, and finally we wound up at a specialist at Texas Children's, and we were waiting for the doctor to come in and say, okay, she's just clogged up, we're just going to have to give her an enema or something like that. And
right.
The doctor walked in and said, yeah, your kid has cancer. And it's been so that's every parent's worst nightmare. But it's been a whirlwind after that. That was in May of last year. I actually flew back early from a business trip to take her to the ER. Mm-hmm. And she had a huge tumor in her belly. When we saw the CT scan, we were amazed that there was room for anything else inside of her.
Really?
Yeah, it was I mean, that's why she wasn't eating.
So Dr. Russell, we turn now the question to you. When you have a 2-year-old who hasn't been eating, and then you tell the parents, I mean, obviously they're floored because nobody wants to hear that or is prepared for it. Is this something you've seen, I don't want to say a lot, or I mean, give us kind of like an idea of who gets stage 4 neuroblastoma at 2 years old? Does that happen a lot?
Well, even though neuroblastoma is one of the more common childhood cancers, we still only see it in about 600 kids a year in the United States. Mm-hmm. So childhood cancer is just a rare thing, but unfortunately we see way too much of it. And at Texas Children's, we're one of the bigger cancer centers in the country for children, right. And so we unfortunately see it on a regular basis. Yep. When a cancer is gone beyond just the regular, where it starts and gone to other parts of the body, that's kind of how we stage things. And so when a tumor like neuroblastoma has gone from the big tumor in the belly to other places like the bone and the bone marrow, that's called stage 4. And unfortunately, it makes it more difficult for us to cure it, yes.
And what is the, I don't know if the right word is prognosis, or what is the time frame that you usually will tell somebody that finds this out, that they have to live, or what can they do to try and prolong their lives?
Well, we certainly do try to cure it. And there are children who have been cured of stage 4 neuroblastoma, and that they're the minority, but we certainly do everything medically possible to cure children like Layla. And we did everything that we could, and the Marshes did everything they could to get her the best possible care.
And what is the status with Layla right now, or Dr. Heidi, what is going on with Layla right this moment?
Well, so after we went through treatment, she did really well through the treatment. The tumors went away. We were very excited and encouraged. And then when we were moving into the next phase of the treatment, they were all over the place. They just came out of nowhere. And so we're not exactly sure what's going to happen next or how long.
Now, when you say treatment, what kind of treatment are we talking about?
Yeah, Dr. Heidi, maybe you can give us more.
Well, for neuroblastoma like this, we use everything that we've got at our.
So we're talking like radiation, chemo.
We use high doses of chemotherapy. We use radiation. We use surgery. And she had just finished something called high dose chemotherapy with stem cell rescue, which is like a bone marrow transplant. And so it was about 2 months after that, when we were getting ready to do the next phase of treatment. She had about 6 more months of therapy. That was going to be a little bit easier, but 6 more months of therapy to go when we saw the tumors come back.
Now, I'm just thinking, as a parent, because I mean, it's just so frustrating when you see these stories and you wonder, why in the hell is this happening to kids? And you hear about this more and more. Do you guys have any idea? I mean, is this environmental? I mean, what is causing this to happen?
Well, I really do wish we knew. I wish that we could find a way to prevent it. If we knew what was causing it, we would be able to stop it. We have not been able to find a thing that says, if you do this or don't do this, you're going to stop or prevent it.
And I think that's why research, funding for research is important, and that's what Shannon and I, my wife, that's what we feel like our mission from this is that we don't want other children to die from this. And so, using all the people on Twitter that are following and paying attention to Layla, and all the people all over the internet, we want to use this to raise awareness and raise funding for research.
How's she doing? I mean, does she know what's going on? Like, I mean, the severity of this illness.
Well, she's 3, so and she got diagnosed at about 19 months old. So all she knows really is just being at the hospital and being sick and stuff like that. Yeah, it's normal for her. That like the kids are everybody. When you have cancer, they put this line in your chest so they can like in your chest so they can give you medicine and everything. Mm-hmm. And she walked around like lifting up people's shirts, wondering where their wires were. She thought everybody had them.
It was normalcy for her.
Yeah, it was normal for her, and she still woke up every morning happy and just like excited to be alive, which I think is way more than you or I would probably say leave me alone. Like I would probably feel terrible.
Yeah, because bottom line, she still has the joy of a child. She's still just a baby. I mean, she's a toddler. Real quick, I want to read this text, Ryan, before it goes away. 37530. We have a texter that says, I know how Ryan Marsh feels. My son had stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. He had it in his heart, his lungs, and the lining of his stomach, and thank God he's been in remission for 2 years now.
That's amazing.
Amazing stories
Very
like that.
Now,
Real quick for you, Dr. Russell, I have this question because I know that this is your line of work. When you go to medical school and you choose to do this part of the medical and be in this medical field, you see this a lot. But how is it? I don't know how it's. How do you don't get attached? I mean, Layla. I see something on the Twitter sometimes that Layla will perk up if she hears Ryan's voice or Dr. R's voice. I mean, I don't know how you guys do it as doctors. That you see this all the time, and God bless you for all the efforts that you're doing for Layla Grace. But it must be really tough for you too, as her doctor.
Well, there are times when it is very, very difficult. Because I do, I love my patients and I love the families that I get to work with, and I see incredible strength in the patients and their families. But I'm here to help them. That's what I chose to do, and that's what my team is there for.
Right.
And I work with a group of incredibly dedicated and loving people, and we're there to help. And we get, we may not save everybody's life, but we are certainly blessed by the people that we meet. So it is a worthwhile job.
Think about all the lives that you've affected. I mean, you've got to feel good about yourself because you've made a difference. There's a difference between something silly like we do and what you do. I mean, you change lives, you save lives, and you give people hope. So,
I think Dr. Russell is actually being a little bit modest. She sees more neuroblastoma patients than any other doctor in the country.
Really?
Yeah, she's kind of a big dog.
You! Our listeners are asking, are kids born with neuroblastoma and then you just don't know they have it until the symptoms show up? Or is it something that just, they're born healthy and all of a sudden something happens and they have it?
It's an excellent question. There are basically 2 types of neuroblastoma. There's a kind that doesn't make you sick and kill you like the kind that Layla has. And sometimes children are born with that. And we're actually finding more and more of those. But they don't hurt the children very much. Sometimes they even go away on their own. They're really quite wild.
But there's no kind of screening that you can do. Like when a child is born, you can't say, can you screen for all forms of cancer?
We can't. And those types that you're born with don't turn into the type like Layla has.
Okay.
So when we screen, we don't necessarily prevent the kind that Layla had. So I can say that most children who have the bad kind of neuroblastoma, they weren't born with it. It usually came up a couple of months before we find it.
Wow. Okay, so Dr. Heidi Russell and Ryan Marsh, thank you so much for taking the time to come.
What's going on?
I appreciate you guys helping us raise awareness about neuroblastoma, and thank you guys all for your support. And we want to thank Houston and all of our followers and everyone who's been praying for us. I mean, there's people, like I said, New Zealand and Australia.
We have a listener right now who texted in from Maryland. They're listening online to this.
Yeah, they probably saw the link on Twitter. So hey, everyone in Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland, New
Zealand.
Thank you so much. So again, LaylaGrace.org, or you can just follow her on Twitter at Layla Grace. God bless you both. We're gonna let you get out of here.